And just like that, the XRP breakout is here. And we're going to be talking about XRP moving back up to a $3 price target in the month of May. And then we're going to look ahead at a $4 month of June for XRP. Now, I also want to put out the warning that if XRP runs up to $3.99 and everybody's hitting the sell button and we don't quite hit that $4, you can feel free to come on back and let me know that I was wrong and it didn't hit $4. But watch for the run up here to $3 this month, the run up and approach to a new official all-time high $4 price target for XRP in June. Full layout of the current events, our financial markets, and how we get there in this update. I hope you guys appreciate our content, and if you do, let's make sure we're liking all of our videos. Let's make sure that we're sharing them out far and wide, and all of our community resources are available at zachrector.com. Here's your XRP price chart to start off the day with a big green candle. Back up to $2.27, and we are currently at $2.24. You see what happened here. I drew the purple box. We went into the purple box. The order got filled, and just like we said, watch out for May 7th. Fed's going to come out and say, nope, you're not getting an interest rate cut. The market has to digest this, a little bit of a flush out, and then we move higher. Here we go. Bitcoin back up to 101,500. Big move for Bitcoin here today, and we're seeing it across the board with just green candles across all of crypto. Now, here's my XRP futures chart and the current trade that I am in right now. And I shared this one with you guys publicly. This is the Coinbase futures contract. And we saw it went all the way down to 203 on the pullback. So a much more dramatic pullback. The spot market only went to 207 and Coinbase futures went down to 203. Here's that arbitrage opportunity. You buy this discount and you sell the premium. Right now, Coinbase futures went up to $2.29, and currently it's at $2.27 basically. So we're already at a premium compared to the spot market, which is only at $224.5. Go back to the futures, and we're at $226.9. So you're seeing a few cent premium on that futures right now. This horizontal line right here at 213 is where I had my order placed and filled while I was sleeping in the middle of the night. This is how we play the game. We know what's coming. We position ourselves accordingly. We place our order and we sleep like little babies because we have big bags of XRP for long term. And then in the short term, we have a little order placed ready for the pullback. Not going to worry about it one bit. Sleeping like a baby until my kids wake me up. They're my alarm clock now. My son starts it off every morning at about 6 o'clock sharp. And that's good. I like waking up with him. But the order got filled at 213, and we're already back up into profit, as you see right here. This is the arbitrage opportunity I noted for everybody. This is the trade setup that I'm in right now, currently in profit. And I think that we're going to be watching XRP go a lot higher throughout the rest of this month. Now, I did want to put out and follow up with a disclaimer because I just can't stand to see more people getting scammed. Many impersonators on all of these social media platforms. I wish that these social media platforms would help us out more. Myself and some folks that help me out are reporting these scammers as fast as possible. But I just want to take this opportunity to remind everybody, watch out for the impersonators. They're using my name and they want your XRP. I do not send DMs on any platform. I do not send friend requests on any platform, especially Discord group, any other platform. No DMs from me, no friend requests from me. Not because I don't want to be friends with you. I do. But the scammers, they're impersonating me on Discord, on Twitter, on all of these platforms. And they're using my name. They switched the username very, just a small little change. So it really does look like me, but it's not me. I will not send you a DM ever. And I'm not going to send you a friend request ever. I also do not offer any product or service related to copy trading. Never have I mentioned anything about copy trading. Never will. So we don't offer any of those services. Okay? So please watch out for the scammers. Just wanted to let everybody know. Let's get into the update. We have President Trump announcing a major trade deal with the UK. We got $6 billion in new tariff revenue. U.S. tariffs on imports from UK raised to 10%. So we're still going to be getting 10%. Now we have UK tariffs on imports from the United States lowered to 1.8%. So we're still going to give the UK a little piece of the action. And we're going to get $5 billion in new exports from the US as well. The deal includes billions of dollars of increased market access for American exports, especially in agriculture, dramatically increasing access for American beef, ethanol, and virtually all of the products produced by our great farmers. Now, one thing though, they are not taking any of our beef with the hormones included, which I don't blame them, right? I'm trying to get good organic grass-fed beef myself. I wouldn't want some of that hormone produced on these mass farms that are making just a bunch of crap meat. I wouldn't want that crap either, so I don't blame them for not wanting it. But they are going to be taking more of our agricultural products. This is one of many trade deals set to get signed here, and why we anticipate that market's going to be moving higher. Bank of England also cutting interest rates by 0.25% to 4.25%, citing Trump's tariff trade war as a key factor. So other central banks cutting rates, citing the Trump tariffs as a reason or an excuse, versus what we got taking place here in our country with our Fed. Even though inflation is still higher, even though unemployment is stronger, the Fed still not lowering rates, still holding strong here. And once again, President Trump having to take this opportunity to call out Jerome Powell. Too late, Jerome Powell is a fool who doesn't have a clue. Other than that, I like him very much. Oil and energy way down, almost all costs, groceries and eggs down, virtually no inflation, tariff money pouring into the United States, the exact opposite of too late. Enjoy. So President Trump taking the opportunity to call him out once again, and also in a press conference announcement this morning, President Trump says you better go out and buy stocks now, citing the trade deals that are getting signed, citing the reduction in regulations and taxes. He says, go out and get them now. Go out and buy stocks now. Now, if it's time to go buy stocks, you already know it's time to go buy crypto, and we've already seen what's happening on our charts here this morning. Now, continuing, IRS loses nearly 1 in 3 tax auditors in Doge cuts, CNBC reports. So a third of the auditors working at the IRS gone. Let me know in the comments how sad you guys are about that one. And let me know how happy you are to see more states like Missouri stepping up and getting a good deal done, like this bill right here. Missouri set to become the first U.S. state to exempt capital gains taxes on stocks, crypto, and real estate. I'm telling you, these states are moving quickly, and they're forcing the hand of the Fed. They're making gold and silver legal tender. They're reducing or eliminating capital gains tax on stocks, crypto, and real estate. These states are set to absolutely flourish. Now, I do worry about some of these states passing their Bitcoin reserve. Hopefully they don't get too wild with the Bitcoin reserve. Maybe, get a little Bitcoin. Okay, cool. But maybe consider a few other cryptocurrencies with actual utility, and don't overextend on the Bitcoin. That's what I would caution to some of these states that are considering the Bitcoin strategic reserves. But speaking of bills, we have a vote on the Genius Act going to be taking place this afternoon. Yes, it is happening. Late night negotiations between Senate Republicans and Democrats. Few minute updates, but we are preparing for the vote this afternoon. And this is on the Genius Stablecoin Act. Very excited to see this one and the process continue towards this one eventually getting passed and signed into law. We are way behind. This is a matter of national security. And just like Scott Bessent himself said, our Secretary of the Treasury, we have $2 trillion of demand for US dollar stablecoins waiting. And that unlock is on the way. That's a conservative statement from Bessent. The real number is probably 2 to 3 trillion, maybe even more by 2027. And so it's definitely time to lock in, folks. Now, continuing, Coinbase trying to keep up with Ripple here. It looks like they bought crypto options giant Deribit for $2.9 billion. Locking in a foothold in the U.S. derivatives market, Deribit saw 1.2 trillion in volume last year. Now, it's interesting to note here, Coinbase paying $2.9 billion to acquire a company that's doing 1.2 trillion in volume, while Ripple acquired prime broker Hidden Road for 1.25 billion, and they settle 3 trillion on a yearly basis. So on a dollar per volume standpoint, Ripple definitely got more bang for their buck. but a great deal nonetheless. We got to give credit here to Coinbase for continuing to expand, and I can't wait. They have perpetual futures available outside of the United States right now. That futures contract that I'm trading is a more standard traditional contracts option that expires at the end of the month versus a perpetual futures. But I'm looking forward to them expanding derivatives, more options on their platform. I use Coinbase, and I now have linked up down below not just the link for Coinbase, but also Coinbase Advanced if you want to use some of those same platforms that I'm taking advantage of right now. So Coinbase, big deal. Love to see it. Great progress. We also got more progress for Ripple's Hidden Road. They're going to be opening up an office in Abu Dhabi per CoinDesk. This company aims to provide clearing and prime broker services to institutional investors in the UAE. They're already moving $3 trillion on a yearly basis, expanding into Dubai. We know that Ripple already has a big headquarters there in Dubai as well, as being the first licensed crypto provider to get that DIFC license. That's from the Dubai Innovation and Financial Center, I believe is what it's called. And so Ripple, the first license granted to them. Now they have the Hidden Road acquisition prime brokerage service that they can add on to this. This is going to be growing. This is why I called this deal a quantum leap for Ripple and the XRP ledger. Now, speaking of XRP, the inflows have arrived. Dom, TraderView 2 on X. We finally have Upbit, which is a big Korean exchange, marking a change in their tune and the strongest buyers over the last 24 hours. Binance surprising, tailing right behind, near 9 million XRP net bought. We are seeing the strongest taste of aggressive market buying that we have seen in over a week. The key is to see it continue. Now, this is where my market cap multiplier metric in that equation, why it gets so dramatic, is because we see when it's aggressive buying, everybody's hitting that buy order all at once. You're going to see that market cap multiplier grow and be so dramatic. And this is why XRP can be back above $3 in literally hours. I mean, look at what happened when President Trump tweeted out that XRP was going to be in our strategic reserve stockpile. XRP blasted off, grew by 44 billion in market cap off of inflows that were in the tens of millions. The market cap multiplier on that was about 400 or 500x, and it took place over just a couple hours. So I'm not just saying this. I'm not just trying to hype you up. I'm telling you what we know and reporting on hard data facts that is represented by big green candles on your chart. Lock in. And I'm going to show you my chart here. Good friend Bunny Boy says we are in a breakout and we have a higher high. The second image is an estimated wave count for our next leg up. We have liquidity and volume gap below that needs to still be filled. This would match the 2017 Bitcoin fractal. Let's take a look at his chart. So he's showing on the zoomed in time frame. This looks like a 45-minute chart. I've never seen somebody share a 45-minute chart, but that's interesting. And you're seeing here that on the zoomed in time frame, we have broken out. We have set a higher high. Next level to break right up here at about 221. We broke right through that. And Bunny Boy shared this chart last night. So not only did he share this chart last night, this is already played out on the charts this morning. Right, XRP already popping up to $2.25. Now, in his second chart, this is where he counts out the wave count using Elliott wave theory, Elliott wave technical analysis. Take a look at it. He shows us making a move right up here to about $3, right? Then we get a pullback down below $3, down to about 260, 250, 260, right in that range, before we blast off here again, and we might have to do, a couple waves here. This is what he's counting the waves here. So we go up to $3, we go back down to 260, back up to $3, back down to 280, and then we make the move and we break out into price discovery. And you can see right here, this is all through the month of May. Just like I said in my update yesterday, making this as clear as and as simple as possible for everybody to understand what I see for XRP. Not only did we call the pullback, I have my sticky note right here when I did my updated XRP timeline in the middle of April. Right here. April 30th, GDP report. What happened that day? Market came back down, as we warned about. What happened May 7th? Fed interest rate decision. Market came down. The timeline doesn't lie. So we called this pullback, and then I have on 6/18 Fed rate decision and probably a rate cut. And then I note here, trade deals, XRP case over, and ETFs going live. Guys, it's all happening right now. I'm expecting $3 in the month of May. I'm expecting $4 or really, really close. When we go up to $3.99 and we get rejected, you guys can say I was wrong. Okay? We're on the way to all-time high price discovery for XRP. And by the way, we're not done. If I go back to the chart here, what Bunny Boy shows us is that we get a pullback after that move to $4, where we'll go back on down, probably below $3, you know, and then basically we make an overall correction back down to even $2. Boy, would that shake out. And I want everybody to take a moment to consider this right now. What would this do to the emotional state of the XRP community? To see XRP finally go reach a new all-time high, $4. Yay, we finally got a new all-time high. And it breaks right back down to $2. Can you imagine? But then can you imagine the reversal from there? A retest down to, $2-3 before we blast off to $6 and $7. And that's what you see here. No, we are not done. We are far from this situation being over. He's got us blasting up to $6 and beyond. And that would be at the end, towards the end of this year. So once again, XRP timeline. We knew it was coming down. Our order got filled. Now it's moving higher. I'm expecting $3 in May, $4 in June, $6, $7, $8 towards the end of this year. And I still hang my hat on a $20 to $30 XRP within a year after the ETFs go live. That's based off of JP Morgan predicting 4 to 8 billion of inflows into the XRP ETFs in the first year after they go live. So I'm taking that. I'm using my analysis, and yeah, still well into the cards of a $20 to $30 XRP in the not too distant future. Tomorrow, this month, no, that's not what I see. But you guys let me know what you think. I'm just here to share my story and how I'm moving. And boy, do I think our community is going to win big time as long as you know what you hold and you hang on here. The situation on the ground still has a lot of improvement needed. Main Street economy, disconnected from Wall Street. Wall Street, crypto, we're already back off and running. So make sure you're balanced on both sides. In the real world, with your job, your income, make sure you're not going to get squeezed out by the inflation that is definitely not going away anytime soon. In fact, it might get worse. And make sure you're positioned in the assets that are going to appreciate in price significantly, like XRP and our other favorite utility cryptocurrencies. We also have precious metals linked up down below. If you're looking to get some metals delivered to your door, we can take care of you. All right, all of the resources at ZachRector.com. If you appreciate what we're doing, let's smack it, let's tap it, share it out far and wide, and I will see you guys back here tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern for our live show. I love you guys. God bless you all. Thank you so much. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.